So guys, we're in a new economy as business owners, as studio owners, and that economy is the engagement economy. Oh, why isn't this letting me type? Engagement, there we go, economy. That's the economy we're in, because what we're vying for, as I mentioned, is the attention. Not only the attention of new people and new prospects, but we're vying for the attention of our existing customers. Because they got a million things going on. They're taking the kid to violin at 4 o'clock, to baseball at 5 o'clock, to tutoring at 6 o'clock, to cooking and baking classes at 7 o'clock, right? Parents are very, I did a survey once around what activities do your kids do after school? And I felt like it was like having like full-time jobs, taking these kids to all these activities. Dare I say that a lot of children are over committed, right? They're doing a whole lot of stuff. And so you need to make sure that dance is the thing that never is going to go out of their life. It's never going to go out of their life. So the first thing is, how do we communicate with our customers? And I would love for you to jump in the chat right now and let me know, how do you communicate with your customers? So your existing people that are part of your studio, new people, how do you communicate, right? We're doing pigeon carrier letters. How are we communicating with our customers? Let's have a look. SMS, email, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook group, SMS, email, in person, the band app, yeah, Facebook group. Awesome. All of these things. So first and foremost, SMS. If you are not communicating with your customers via SMS, you are missing out. You are missing out. Think of your own habits as a person living in this world. Do you look at messages on your phone? How quickly do you look at messages on your phone? How quickly? If there's one communication channel that comes into your life, right? What would be the one thing that you're most attached to? I doubt it's the letterbox. I doubt you're checking the letterbox as much as you're checking your phone, right? What is that one thing that is like there that you're looking at all the time? Yeah, always on my phone, answering texts, SMS, WhatsApp, phone, SMS. Guess what? Your customers are exactly the same. They're on their phone, so SMS is a wonderful channel to utilize to give information, but also to navigate the communication where you need it to go. So we love SMS. The next one is email. And people often say, but Clint, email's dead. I'm like, no, it's not. Probably what you write in the email makes people want to be dead, right? Maybe wants them to be like, oh, this again? Your fees, pay your fees, pay your fees. That's not the email. Some of you are laughing because you're like, oh my goodness, that's me. Overdue, 18th notice, you owe me $5,000. Stop going on holidays, pay your money, right? I know what you guys go through. I know what you guys go through. That's not what, I mean, you can send those emails, that's fine, but we want to educate and inspire and entertain in our emails so that people actually open them and they actually click through and take the desired action. The next thing is any type of messenger. So this might be an Instagram DM. This might be your Facebook Messenger for your studio, not your personal though. Not your personal. I'm not opposed to you having, Facebook friending parents and all of that. That's fine. That's completely up to you, right? Do what you want. But you should not be having any communication through your personal messenger about your business. You need to be redirecting those customers. You need to be redirecting them, right? Hey, thank you so much for your message. Please email, if email is your place for them to message you, please email us so that we can help you as quickly as possible with your inquiry from the team at Jenny's Jazz Hands Dance Academy. Right? You don't need to sign off as yourself. Just sign off as your business on your personal profile, but don't be doing that. Don't be letting your business completely invade your life. All right, the other way we can communicate is in person. We know this one. When parents like to chat to us at the studio. And this is great, but what most of you need to do is set some boundaries and expectations around the way that we communicate inside of the studio. So we often suggest like office hours, where if it kind of makes it through your team and the parent still wants to talk to you, they can book a 15-minute consult with you. Now, where our members are doing a lot of these via Zoom now, which is nice and easy. But if you wanted to do it in studio, you could do that as well. So in-person communication is great. It's a little bit trickier, obviously, with COVID, and some lobbies aren't open anymore. So you are doing a lot more online communication, which I'm hoping is kind of streamlining your communication. But in-person is still an option. Phone calls. A little more old school. People don't really like to talk on the phone anymore, but it's still an effective way. And I'll do phone calls, or also like voice messages. Right, so that might be an option as well. If we had your SMS, if you gave us your phone number, you would have noticed that we sent you out a voicemail message, I think on Monday or something, saying, hey, it's Clint, can't wait to see you at the training. Right, I don't know, I think I recorded that like a month ago or something. Right, goes into the system, it gets sent out to remind you. You'll get another one on Tuesday morning, reminding you about our training on Tuesday, where I'll be leaving you a nice little voicemail message if we have your number, letting you know, don't miss Tuesday. And that's a reminder for all of you here, Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, we've got our action plan masterclass. Make sure you join me for that, because that one is not recorded. So you might want to do voicemails as well. And the last one is direct mail. Again, we're not using a lot of direct mail, but it can still be really effective. So here are a couple of places how you can engage your community. Now, whether it is during the enrollment process, you'll have all of these touch points, or once they're enrolled and they become a customer, these are really great ways to be in touch. The other thing that I would suggest is that you ask your customers, whether it's on your enrollment form or, when you see them for that enrollment, is how would you like us to communicate with you? Yeah, so they might say text, SMS me everything. I don't read email. I don't read anything else. And then you'll know, cool, we're just going to text that customer, because they're not going to look at anything else. People have preferences. Like for me, I'm like, text me, email me, leave me a voice message. I want all of it, right? I want all of it. And so ask your customers, how would you like us to contact you? So that they can pick their preference, and better chance that they're actually going to read the stuff that you send them. All right, let's talk about increasing your enrollments through communication. So increasing enrollment maximizer. Is it a Z? Is it an S? I'm confused. I'm an Australian living in the US. Everything's an S or a Z. I don't know. So increasing enrollment maximizers. So how can we communicate during the enrollment process to make sure that they are going to, as much as possible, enroll in our studio, from going from an inquiry to a trial to an enrolled student? So the first thing that we want to do, our first step, is tell your story. Now you're like, Clint, we've talked about stories. And I'm like, yes, but you need to make sure you tell your story before they come into the studio. So as soon as they've confirmed their trial, be sending a wonderful email with a little video of you talking about your story, which we discussed on Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know, sometime this week. We talked about your story. So you want to do that in the first email that gets sent out. The next thing you want to do, which I love this is a nice little touch point, send out a postcard. Now you can do this via the mail. I do like it going in the mail, but if your mail system is like really bad, you can do it via email. But sending them something the day that they register for their trial, and you can set this up so it's automated, sending out a postcard to that person that is like, hey, little Susie, we can't wait to see you at your upcoming dance class at Jenny's Dance Hands Academy, right? Really lovely. Like the parent gets that in the mail, gives it to the kid, they put it on the fridge or wherever. A nice kind of little reminder. So you've got their buy-in through your story. You've sent them this nice little postcard to get them warmed up a little bit more. The next thing that I want you to do is send a what to expect email. Now, this is not a big text email. It's not a big text email. Again, it's a video. Now, some of our members will do this with their teacher or an office manager or a combination of you and your teachers. And it's like, what is your first class with us going to be like? And in that email, you share the experience. You'll park your car, like have someone filming you, like parking your car. This is where you'll park your car. You'll walk up or you'll drop off your little one. You'll come in, you'll be greeted by Sandy at the front desk. Like really walk through the process so that when they come in, they like know exactly what's going on. They already feel a part of the family. They already feel a part of the family. In your what to expect, you also want to talk about the objections people have about not enrolling. So we have a whole list of them inside of SAI, but you probably know a couple of them. Like, what do people object to when they don't enroll? You want to seed those things into your what to expect. So you're actually answering objections before they've even been asked. A really great way to increase your enrollment conversion rate. And the last thing you want to do is make sure you send a 24-hour reminder text message about their class. Hey there, we can't wait to see little Susie today, or, in 24 hours at 4 p.m. Let us know if you've got any questions, right? Just in a little text message. The other thing you can include in that text message, if your platform or whatever you're using lets you, is just confirming little Susie is coming to class, ballet class tomorrow. Send back Y to confirm or R to reschedule, right? So you might do a little CTA, a little call to action on that text message, just so that if they're not coming, you can reschedule them. So that is kind of the communication leading up to them enrolling or coming to class. Let's now talk about the in-studio experience must-haves. Must-haves. So when they come into your studio, right? When they come into your studio for their trial class, what do you need to do so that they stick? What do you need to do so that they stick? So the first thing you need to make sure you do, and this is in our 11-step enrollment process that we teach, is a pre-class consult, right? You need to do a pre-class consult, which is a conversation, goes for like 5 to 10 minutes with the parent that really gets them thinking about enrollment. You're really kind of setting the scene of like, this is how we roll, this is what to expect, here are our next steps. So we love a pre-class consult. If you're doing this during a busy time, you can do a group pre-class consult as well, which can work really well. The next thing you need to ensure is you have an intro to the teacher. Very, very important. Ideally, the parent gets the intro to the teacher as well. I know it's a little bit hard during COVID, but ideally we want to make sure that there's an introduction to the teacher so there's a connection straight away. The other thing we used to like to do with our children is we would put them with a class buddy. And the class buddy is never the best dancer or the most ambitious dancer in the class. The class buddy is that child or that student that like loves to dance. They're really joyful. They love the other kids. You want to buddy them up so they don't feel isolated and alone. It's a big part of how you really increase that enrollment conversion. The next thing you want to ensure is the teacher can give them some type of homework. So we used to teach choreography, then pair them up and say, pretend you're in a film clip, and then next week practice in the foyer, in the waiting room before you come into class, and we're going to perform these 4 lots of 8 as groups of 3. It might be a coloring in sheet for a young kid. I mean, there's lots of different things you can include in homework, but something fun, not boring. They don't want boring homework. They want fun homework that binds them as much as possible to the studio. And then after the trial class, you need to have an after class consult. And your after class consult, we have a script inside of SAI around like, okay, how do we run this conversation with the parent after the class is happening to really increase the conversion rate on that enrollment? So you need to make sure you have a conversation. You just don't let them leave and run away. Important that you can have that conversation. Okay, so now let's look at the first 7 days. The first 7 days. So this, guys, is all about your retention. We're like working our way down on retention. So in the first 7 days, there's a couple of things that you need to do to help increase that stick rate of them staying around, right? So the first thing you want to do is if they enroll on the spot, you want to give them an enrollment box or enrollment pack. It's up to you. I like boxes, nicely branded boxes, some tissue paper. It's got a couple of things in it. Not only has it got your important documents in it that you might hand out on paper, but it's also got some cool stuff that the kid's going to enjoy. Don't give them like something that has like a massive logo splashed all over it. I don't want a whole bunch of like logo stuff that they're not going to use. But I mean, a drink bottle with a logo, like that's super cool. Like people love that, right? Maybe if it's for the little kids, you've got a wand, or you've got like a superhero cape, or depending on the age of the child or the adult, right? But giving them something physical they can take home is really important. If they enroll on the spot, let's say they might be with their mum, they enroll on the spot, you give them that box, they're very excited, right? They're very excited to have that box. They're in the car, they go home to their other parent, oh my goodness, look, like got this box, and that kind of, oh my goodness, you enrolled them in dance class or like something else, like that kind of goes away when the kid's really excited about the little gift that they have. So an enrollment box is a must-have, or a pack. The next thing that we like to do in that first week is send them some type of gift in the mail. Now, guys, this doesn't have to be huge. This could be, the gift could be a postcard. The gift could be tights. The gift could be whatever, but something in the mail at the end of that first week is really important, that they get it by the end of that first week, that they've taken their first week of classes. The next thing you want to do is send a really nice, quick SMS check-in. Hey, just checking in, how your first week of class has gone with Susie? Nice and easy, not long, not crazy, nice and easy. And the next thing is to do a call, or again, a voicemail. Leave a voicemail, also checking in at the end of the first 7 days. Hey, it's Jenny here from Miss Jenny's Jazz Hands Dance Academy. We've loved having Susie with us this week. Just want to see how everything's going. Now, if you've got a lot, because I know if you guys end up working with us inside of SAI, you won't have the time to be able to do individuals. You'll have to do them bulk, because you guys will be managing so many new leads and students coming through. And so we will teach you kind of like the group approach for that as well. So you're not doing a voicemail and an SMS for each person individually. So let's talk about long-term retention now. Okay, so we kind of have covered a little bit of this. What do you need to focus on all year round? So let's talk about our commitment campaigns, right? These are the systems that you need to ensure that you're putting into your studio. So the first thing that you need is the 6-week onboarding process. Now, we teach the 6-week onboarding system, which I created. You might have a different version of this that you kind of want to work on and implement in your studio. But an onboarding campaign is really important. And we found from working with thousands of studio owners that 6 weeks is like the perfect spot to build out your onboarding campaign. Right, so this is what's happening every single week for the first 6 weeks to keep them engaged, to help them feel a part of the family as quickly as possible, which is going to reduce their churn. Reduce their churn in terms of like leaving your studio in those first 6 weeks. But it's actually what you do in those first 6 weeks will really set the tone for the year that they're going to have in your studio. And you can really eliminate problem people and problem parents very early on in those 6 weeks by giving them a really streamlined, structured onboarding process. The next thing that you need to look at is year-round activities. So year-round retention activities is what are you going to do for the entire year to keep your customers engaged and continuing to get value, aside from the fact that you're delivering awesome classes, right? Aside from what they're paying for. What are all those other little things that you do during the year that let them know that you care, that they're not just a number, and how are you delivering value? It's not costing you an arm and a leg. I don't want to costing you more money, right? But looking at the system and structure for year-round activities. You also want to make sure that you've got a re-enrollment or re-registration process. Now, in our world, for the studio owners in the US, Canada, the UK, people that go back August and September, we love to roll out our re-enrollment process in April. We have a 6-week re-enrollment process to ensure that you're getting everyone enrolled for the new season. If you're in Oz or New Zealand, we like to roll out that process end of October, early November. So you want to make sure you've got an enrollment process in place. And the last thing that you want to make sure that you've got really good communication. You're like, but Clint, that sounds like, that's like basic. That's like basic communication. I'm like, yes, because why do people leave? They don't necessarily leave because there's anything wrong with the class. They leave because the business is chaotic and the communication is chaotic and inconsistent. And they feel like they don't know what's going on and they're not being told what's going on. And so there's just a lack of clarity, right? That's why people don't come back or don't enroll or leave. Majority of the time from the work that we've done with parents and the surveys is that it's really not about the classes. Obviously, in some circumstances, it is about the classes, but I know that all of you are running awesome classes, right? You have great teachers. And so these are the 4 things that you want to be working on: your onboarding process, year-round activities, your re-enrollment process, and communication. So as we kind of think of these elements of retention, I want you to jump in the chat and let me know what needs the most amount of work. What needs the most amount of work? Jump in the chat. Let me know. Okay. The first 7 days, 6-week onboarding, 6-week re-enrollment, SMS and texting, onboarding, systemizing onboarding, year-round activities, all of the above, onboarding, the first 7 days, communication, unfortunately. Hey, we got it now, right? We got it. Exactly. Making sure trials show up, 6-week onboarding, communication, all of the above, lots of all of the above, lots of 6-week onboarding. And guys, those of you that decide to join us in SAI, we have the 6-week onboarding process completely mapped out. All of the scripts, all of the emails you need to send, everything is like, here you go. It's all done for you. So excited to work with those of you that choose to work with us inside of the Student Attraction Intensive. So we've spent the last 5 days together. Don't forget about next Tuesday, and don't forget about this weekend to like catch up and rewatch all the trainings. So now we're going to do a little bit of a scorecard. This is our marketing scorecard. Oh, can I spell? Yes, I can occasionally. So marketing scorecard. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to type in all of this. I'm going to read it out, and then I want you to put your score out of 10. Out of 10. So I'm going to read a statement, and I want you truthfully to give yourself a score out of 10. 10 meaning I'm awesome, 0 meaning I'm a disaster, and then everything in between. Right? 10 is awesome, 0 is a disaster. You put where your barometer is. So the first thing is I have mapped out and implemented a customer journey. I have mapped out and implemented a customer journey. So 0 is I haven't, 10 is I have and it's rocking, 5 is like kind of sorta, 6 is kind of the same. So where do you kind of sit? I have fully mapped out and implemented a customer journey. Jump in the chat, let me know. Oh, this is interactive again. So please get in the chat and let me know your score. Good to see some of our members here with high marks. Amazing. So out of 10, I've mapped out and implemented the customer journey. The next question is, I've implemented the 11-step enrollment process. So have you put the 11-step enrollment process in your business? Again, out of 10. Yes, good. Alumni, Jerome and Kim, Victoria and Kelly, Ed, nice to see our members with those 10s. Awesome. Patty, amazing. Yeah, I've implemented the 11-step enrollment process. The next question, number 3. I have a proven marketing plan that generates new students daily. I have a proven marketing plan that generates new students daily. Give me your number 0 to 10. Are you bringing in new students daily? Okay, that one looks like it needs a bit of work. Needs a bit of work. Okay, the next one. I have a monthly content calendar that generates daily inquiries. I have a monthly content calendar. So when we're thinking about things on social media, what you're posting on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, I have a monthly content calendar that generates inquiries daily. That's okay, Laura. Remember, this is just where you are today, right? This is just where you are today. The next one is, I run successful Facebook advertising campaigns that generate new students. I run successful Facebook advertising campaigns that generate students. Awesome. Look at you guys go. Nice to see lots of familiar names with great scores. And lots of new names with lower scores, but guys, that's okay. We can definitely help you. We can definitely help you. What about this one? My brand stands out and attracts students daily. So we're talking about your brand now. Does your brand stand out? Have you created those stories? Right? And I don't want you to be biased and go, well, I love my logo. That's not what I'm asking. My brand stands out and it attracts new students daily. And the last question here is, my retention system, so that's your onboarding system, your re-enrollment system, your year-round retention processes. My retention system keeps or retains students at a rate of 95% or higher. My retention system keeps and retains my students at a rate of 95% or higher. Okay. So guys, can you add up your score out of 70 and give me the final total in the chat? Give me the total in the chat. 26. Okay. Add up the total. It's going to be out of 70. 43, 20, 39, 30, 27, 14, 16. Good job, Kim. Proud of you. One of our inner circle members. 16. 21, 10, 45, 50, 16, 27, 53. Awesome. 11, 16, 11, 58. Good job, Victoria. 22, 23. So guys, what we need to think about now is, if you're really, I'm going to be honest with you for a second. You might not like me, but hey, I'm here to help. So I have to be honest. What we want to be looking at for you to be able to achieve that big number, right, that we put in place at the beginning of the week on Monday, we definitely need to see you at around a 70, because these are the core elements of getting those students in and keeping them. And all of these elements right here, these are the core things that you need to do to bring you in those students.